How to take back your time and your life. If your life ended next week, would you be proud of how you spent this one? That question hits harder when you remember that your entire lifetime fits into only a few thousand weeks. Each week is like a small square on a calendar that no one can refill. Once it is crossed out, it is gone forever. Most people never realize they are trading these small squares for routines they do not even enjoy. They wake up with the same tired thoughts. They reach for the same glowing screen. They pour the same coffee. They drive the same roads. They repeat a day that feels safe, but also feels empty. My name is Wason. This is Learn English Listening, and I am here to tell you the truth that most people avoid. The truth that does not whisper. The truth that hits. You are not lacking time. You are lacking ownership of time. You do not need a new calendar. You need a new sense of awareness. Before we go any further, I want to know something. Where are you watching from, and what hour is it where you are? Your answer matters because your life is shaped by the quiet hours you ignore. Think about this past week. Can you remember the last Tuesday with clarity? Can you describe the morning of the day before? If not, it is not because you have a bad memory. It is because your days have merged into a pattern with no edges. When days look the same, your mind stops recording them. When nothing stands out, life feels shorter and faster. If you stay with me, I will show you why this happens and what you can do to take your hours back before another week disappears without a trace. There is a strange kind of exhaustion that appears even after a full night of sleep. It is not physical. It is emotional. It is the weight you feel when you wake up and realize you are about to live the same day again. You already know what your morning will look like. You already know what thoughts will show up. You already know the small frustrations that will come and the distractions you will use to escape them. You are not tired because you work too hard. You are tired because almost nothing in your day feels meaningful anymore. You scroll without purpose. You compare without noticing. You react to every small demand, and by the time the day ends, you have no idea where your energy went. This generation faces something your parents never had to face. They had fewer choices, fewer paths, fewer expectations. You are living in a world with endless options, endless information, endless pressure to be more. It feels like freedom, but it creates paralysis. You do not know which direction to choose, so you choose none. And then something painful happens. You go to bed frustrated with yourself. You tell yourself that tomorrow will be different. You promise that you will change your habits. You promise that you will focus. But when tomorrow arrives, your mind is already overloaded before you even get out of bed. I want to ask you this, and answer honestly in the comments if you can. Have you ever gone to bed angry at yourself because you wasted another day? Not because you were lazy, not because you lacked discipline, but because you could not escape the noise in your own mind. This is not a personal failure. This is the modern world overwhelming a mind that was never designed to handle this level of input. The problem is not you. The problem is the invisible forces pulling your attention away every hour of your day. And once you understand how those forces work, everything in your life begins to shift. Here is the truth most people never realize. You do not need to manage time. You need to manage attention. Time is fixed. Attention is flexible. And the quality of your life depends on where that attention lands. There is a term used by researchers called attention residue. It means that when you jump from one task to another, your mind stays partly stuck in the task before it. Imagine writing an important message while your mind is still replaying something you saw on your phone. You are not distracted because you are weak. You are distracted because your attention has not fully returned to the present moment. Another term is cognitive clutter. This is the mental chaos created by hundreds of tiny decisions that do not matter. What to wear, what to eat, which notification to check first. These decisions drain the same mental energy you need for the decisions that truly shape your life. When your mind is full of small choices, the big choices feel impossible. The third term is emotional time debt. This is the heavy feeling that you are always behind, even when your schedule is not full. You feel this way because you have postponed too many things that matter to you. Conversations you avoided, goals you delayed, promises you made to yourself but never kept. Your mind senses these unfinished pieces and interprets them as a shortage of time, even when the shortage is emotional, not real. These three forces steal more of your life than any calendar deadline. They make you feel rushed when you are not. They make you feel stressed when nothing is wrong. And they make you feel guilty for problems that began outside your control. Once you see these patterns clearly, something inside you begins to shift. You start to realize that you are not running out of time. You are leaking time through the cracks you never noticed. And the moment you begin to close those cracks, the direction of your entire life changes. There comes a moment when you realize that time never truly disappears. It slips through the small openings you ignored. It leaves quietly when you say yes to everything. It drains away when you let your mind run your life instead of directing it. You are not losing years. You are losing attention in small, scattered pieces until the day feels empty and you cannot explain why. This is the moment when many people finally break. They look at their life and see a long list of unfinished goals. They see a version of themselves they keep postponing, and they feel a sharp truth. Nothing changes until one decision becomes non-negotiable, not optional, not someday, non-negotiable. To help you see this clearly, I want you to imagine your time in three categories. The first is identity time. This is the time you use to become the person you want to be. The minutes you spend learning something new. The quiet moments you use to reflect. The choices that strengthen your character instead of weakening it. The second is impact time. This is the time that creates real movement in your life. The focused work that builds a future. The conversations that matter. The actions that shape your direction. When you invest here, your life expands. The third is connection time. These are the hours that form memories, the moments with people who matter, the experiences that remind you why life is worth living at all. Without these moments, achievement feels empty. Now I want to ask you something. If you had only 10 meaningful hours this week, what would you place inside them? Not what you think you should do. What you would choose if your life depended on it. Because in a way, it does. Your direction is being shaped by the choices you make when you believe your time is unlimited. And once you face the truth that it is not, everything becomes clearer. Here is the truth that most people discover too late. You are not running out of time. You are running out of intention. The difference is everything. When you let your days repeat, they erase themselves. When you let distractions lead, they build a life you never wanted. But when you become conscious of each week, something changes. The days stop blending. The hours gain weight. The moments become real again. Picture your life as a long path built from thousands of small stones. Each stone is a week. Some stones are bright with meaning. Others are dull with repetition. But every stone is placed by you. You decide what each one becomes. You choose whether a week becomes a memory or becomes a blur. Your 4,000 weeks are not a warning. They are an invitation. They remind you that every hour is a building block. Every task you finish, every conversation you have, every thought you choose to believe. These things form the shape of your life, and no one else can place those blocks for you. So now the question comes to you. At this moment, you stand between comfort and growth. Which path will you take? Comfort feels safe, but it steals your future. Growth feels uncomfortable, but it expands your life in ways you cannot predict. The choice is not easy, but it is always yours. If this message gave you something meaningful, share it with someone who needs encouragement today, someone who has forgotten their strength, someone who needs a voice that tells the truth with care. and subscribe so we can keep growing together week after week. This is not just a channel. This is a place where you learn English through real change, through clarity, through the kind of honesty that wakes you up and gives you back the hours you thought you had lost.